December 1st, 1948, Somerton Beach, Australia. A well-dressed man is found propped against a seawall, dead. He has no wallet, no ID, and every single label has been meticulously cut out of his clothing. In a hidden pocket of his trousers, police find a tiny scrap of paper with 2 Persian words, Tamam Shud, it is finished. He wasn't just a body on the beach.
One of Australia's
he was a
greatest
ghost carrying a
mysteries was
secret
left
that
unsolved.
would remain
So,
buried
let's dive
for
into
over
it.
70 years.
So, back in 1948, a man is found dead on a beach. The weird part? No wallet, no ID, nothing. People actually saw him the night before, but just figured he was sleeping. The autopsy? Total mystery. Investigators were stumped. His clothes gave them nothing. Every single tag had been carefully snipped off. A few weeks later, they linked a suitcase to him. But again, still no identification. Then, months into it, a clue finally turned up, and you'll never guess where they found it. On that tiny scrap of paper were just 2 words, Tamam Shud. It's Persian for, it is ended. So police put out a public call to find the book, and believe it or not, someone had it. And this is where it gets even weirder. The book had what looked like a secret code inside. The book also had a phone number, which led them straight to a local nurse, Jessica Thompson. She said she didn't know him, but her reaction told a totally different story. After that, the trail went cold. So for decades, people just guessed. Was this guy a Cold War spy or a heartbroken lover? With 0 new leads, he became, well, just the unknown man. One of Australia's biggest cold cases. But then, much later, a professor got obsessed and saw a new way to solve it, DNA. So his team got a hold of some hairs from an old police bust and used genetic genealogy. They built a massive family tree with 4,000 people. And unbelievably, they found a match. So in 2022, we got a name, Carl Charles Webb. And get this, he wasn't a spy. Turns out, he was just a regular guy, an electrical engineer married to a woman named Dorothy Jean Webb. This changes everything. That so-called secret code, it was probably just notes on horse racing bets. Say he'd separated from his wife, and it seems like he traveled to Adelaide to try and find her. But even though we have a name, police haven't made it official yet, so it's not totally over. We finally know his name, but the biggest questions, how he died and why, are still a mystery.
The mystery deepened when a rare book of Persian poetry was found with its final page torn out, matching the scrap in the dead man's pocket. Inside the book was a faint, handwritten cipher that remains uncracked to this day. Was he a Cold War spy or a victim of a forbidden romance? Every trace he left behind seems designed to lead us into a dead end.
Okay, picture this. A body on a beach, a book of poetry, and a secret code that has stumped the world's best codebreakers for over 70 years. It's a mystery with no clear victim, no obvious motive, and for the longest time, no cause of death. This is the story of the Tamam Shud case, and trust me, it's one of the most bizarre and fascinating unsolved mysteries you'll ever come across. So what are we really looking at here? Is this a tragic story of a broken heart, a man who took his own life for love? Or is it something much, much bigger? A tale of Cold War espionage, secret agents, and a man who knew too much. That's what we're going to try and figure out as we dive into all the strange evidence. All right, let's set the scene. The year is 1948. We're on Somerton Beach, a quiet little spot in Australia. The sun is coming up, everything is peaceful, but that peace is about to be completely shattered. As people start walking the beach that morning, they see a man. He's dressed impeccably, a full suit and tie, shoes polished to a shine. He's just lying there against the seawall, looking like he's taking a nap. But he isn't sleeping. He's dead. And right from the start, absolutely nothing about his death makes any sense. So the police arrive, and the scene is just bizarre. The man has no wallet, no money, no ID. Nothing to say who he is. And check this out. Every single label from his clothes has been carefully cut off. I mean, somebody went to a lot of trouble to erase his identity. The only things they find are some unused travel tickets and a pack of cigarettes with the wrong brand of cigarettes inside. The autopsy, even more confusing. There's no sign of violence, no clear cause of death. It's like he just stopped. The investigation basically hits a brick wall almost immediately. No leads, no new evidence, the case goes cold. But months later, just when it seems like this will be a mystery forever, a tiny clue, something almost everyone missed, is about to change everything. An officer is packing up the man's clothes to put them into storage when he feels something odd. There's a tiny hidden pocket expertly sewn into the waistband of the man's trousers. It's almost invisible. He carefully cuts the stitches, and inside he finds a little piece of paper rolled up tight. And on that paper are two words that will give this case its name. Tamam Shud. It's a phrase from Persian that means it is ended or it is finished. Turns out it's the very last line from a famous book of poetry, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. So what does it mean? A suicide note? A secret message? The police don't have a clue, but for the first time, they've got a real lead. So the police go public asking if anyone has a copy of this specific book. And believe it or not, a local man comes forward. He says he found a copy of the Rubaiyat just tossed in the back of his car, which he'd left unlocked near the beach, right around the time the man died. He didn't think anything of it at the time. The police take a look at the book, and what they find inside just makes this whole thing even stranger. So they open the book, and yup, the last page, the one with Tamam Shud on it, has been torn out. It's a perfect match. But that's not all. On the back cover, they find faint pencil markings. There's a phone number, and below it, 5 lines of what looks like some kind of unbreakable code. They brought in naval intelligence, the best code breakers in the country, and nothing. Nobody could crack it. It was a total mystery. I mean, what kind of message needs to be hidden in a code that is literally unbreakable? Some people think it's a one-time pad cipher, something spies use that's impossible to solve without a specific key, a key that maybe died with him. Others have wondered if it's something simpler, like the initials of racehorses he bet on. Or maybe it's just gibberish. We still don't know. Okay, so the code was a dead end, but that phone number, that was a different story entirely. That number led the police to a woman who would either unlock this whole mystery or make it 1,000 times more complicated. The phone number belonged to a local nurse, a woman named Jessica Thompson. And get this, she lived just a few blocks away from where the body was found. Talk about a coincidence. But it gets much, much weirder when police show her a plaster cast they made of the dead man's face. She says she doesn't know him, but her reaction tells a very different story. A detective who was there said that when Jessica, who they nicknamed Justin, saw the cast, she looked like she was about to faint. She was visibly shaken. She denied knowing him, but did admit she once owned a copy of the Rubaiyat that she gave to a soldier. For a second, police thought, this is it. But they tracked that soldier down, and he was alive and well with his copy of the book totally intact. So who was the man on the beach, and what was his connection to Jessica? So this leaves us with 2 big theories. On one hand, you have the crime of passion. The man was a lover who came to find Jessica, she rejected him, and he took his own life on the beach, with Tamam Shud as his final poetic goodbye. On the other hand, you have the Cold War hit. He was a spy, the code was a secret message, the labels were removed to hide his identity, and Tamam Shud was a signal that his mission was over before he was silenced. The science just adds another weird layer. Pathologists were pretty sure he was poisoned, but they couldn't find a single trace of anything in his system. They suspected something fast-acting and hard to detect, like Digelis. Now, that's a poison that intelligence agencies have been known to use, which definitely feeds the spy theory. But it's also a poison someone could take themselves. So we're right back where we started. Murder or suicide? For more than 70 years, that's where the case stood. A complete mystery. The Somerton man was a ghost story. But just when it seems like we'd never know the truth, science came along with a tool that the investigators in 1948 couldn't even have imagined. The years just rolled by. As you can see, the man was buried in a grave with no name. The official inquest closed in 1958, unable to figure out who he was or how he died. But a few dedicated researchers never gave up. They kept digging, and finally, their persistence paid off in a huge way. The big break came from that plaster cast made all the way back in 1949. It turns out a few strands of the man's hair got trapped in the plaster. In 2022, a team of researchers was able to extract DNA from those hairs. From there, they used forensic genealogy, building this massive family tree of over 4,000 people, until, incredibly, they found a map. After 73 long years, the Somerton man had a name. He was Carl Charles Webb. So, mystery solved, right? Well, not exactly. In fact, knowing his name might have just opened up a whole new can of worms. So, who was Carl Webb? He was, well, a pretty normal guy. He was an electrical engineer from Melbourne. He was married but separated from his wife. He liked poetry. He liked to bet on the horses. He was, by all accounts, the absolute last person you'd expect to be at the center of an international spy mystery. So now we have a name. We have a backstory. Case closed? Not even close. It feels like we've peeled back one layer of this mystery, only to find another, even more confusing one underneath. Knowing he was Carl Webb is a huge step, but it doesn't answer the most important questions. We now have the who, but we are still completely lost when it comes to the why. Why did this ordinary man end up dead on a beach, surrounded by so much strangeness? We're still left with so many questions. Why did he even go to Adelaide? Was he looking for his wife? What in the world does that code mean? What was his actual connection to Jessica Thompson? And the biggest question of all, how and why did he really die? Was it murder? Was it suicide? We're no closer to knowing. We finally have his name, but the reason he died on that beach is still a complete black hole. So what do you think? Was Carl Webb just an ordinary electrical engineer caught up in a personal tragedy? Or was Carl Webb just a cover for another identity, a secret life that finally caught up to him? The truth, it seems, died with him on Somerton Beach.
The Somerton man has finally been given a name, but his story remains a riddle wrapped in an enigma. Some traces lead to a family, others to a world of shadows. Stay tuned, because case number 10 takes us to a crime that shocked the world. The Lindbergh baby kidnapping, where a national hero's child vanished into a night of ladders and lies. This is Terminal Trace.